Up in the chat,
Let's
fellas.
go.
We have so much to get to, Chase. We have
Too much
so
to
much
get to. Too much.
I know. I might not go to sleep. I might just go to church right after this podcast. Oh my goodness.
Long day for Karter.
Long day. That's for sure. Well, nothing. Some cookout couldn't fix though.
Very true. Did you stop there?
I did stop there. I did. Yeah.
I'm glad.
I needed it.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
How long's that drive?
It was about an hour 20. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't bad traffic either.
Very nice.
Just fun.
All right, we're gonna get this YouTube rolling, and then we'll be good to go. How's everything looking?
It looks good for me.
Sweet. Yeah.
Get in this chat. Let's go. Come on, lock in, fellas. We got a lot to get to.
Sleepy chat tonight. Prove me wrong. It is late.
It's late, but we rock and roll. All right,
we got YouTube up right now.
Back end is good to go.
There it is.
Boom. Pop in, fellas. Tony Padilla. Is this game still on that I don't know about? I thought it ended.
Tony Padilla just called everyone out of the locker room. He wants to call one more foul before.
Tony Padilla is about to give a speech. Holy smokes! Tony Padilla
just challenged AJ to a one-on-one at midcourt.
Oh, Tony Padilla. No, dude, highest rated ref. Alrighty, Chase. I think I'm ready to roll. How about yourself? Chat seems to be rolling.
I'm ready, man.
I'm seeing some Hornets love in the chat. That's one way to get my spirits.
What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Holy crap!
I mean,
dude,
did you see what the Hornets did to the Jazz, Karter?
Yeah, I saw. I didn't get to watch the game. I'm gonna rewatch the game tomorrow. So very excited.
Yeah.
All right.
That'll lift your spirits.
That'll lift my spirits. I love beating the Jazz.
Voice.
Oh, very few things better than beating the Jazz. But, All right.
All right, I'm ready to go whenever you are, brother. Yeah, let's get it.
Okay. I went and retweeted some stuff, so. All right, lock in here, fellas. Lock in. We got a pod to do. What's going on with this right now? Why is this being weird?
There you are.
Do we look good? We look good for everyone on YouTube right now?
You look great. I saw you do a souvenir cup soda review on TikTok, Karter. That was great.
Yeah. 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 Not how I wanted. But anyhow, all right.
No,
you ready? Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it.
3, 2, 1. We're live. We are live right now. It is now Sunday night on the East Coast for me. 12:30. We're after midnight. This is Church Ball After Dark. We're here. Chase, BYU wins the Holy War. Was it sloppy? Yes. Was it ugly? Yes. Was it aesthetically pleasing? No. But a win is a win in the Holy War, Chase.
A win is a win. It might be the ugliest a game's ever looked where both teams were over 80. Like, you look at it, you're like, whoa, lots of points. And then you watch it and you're like, oh, how? Like, where did those come from? Is this the worst a win over Utah's ever felt? That might be a question to ponder and do some research on. But regardless, a win in the Big 12 is a win, and a win over Utah is always a little extra sweet. The way it happened, we're going to dig into a lot of it. But we got to appreciate it for what it is, a big win, especially like on the road, a very hostile environment in the clutch. They got it done. They came through. Again, second half Cougs figured it out.
I'll start off here. We'll dive into free throws. We'll dive into a lot of the other stuff. This first half, when you watched, it was just clear which team wanted it more. Utah clearly wanted it more. And you can even say that for honestly the better part of the second half, too. Talent won out in the end. That's why BYU won this game. But you know the main reason why BYU won this game was because Richie Saunders wanted it, Chase.
Yeah.
The number one stat you need to look at on the box score is 14 rebounds from Richie Saunders, and that doesn't tell you the story of every single possession that dude was playing his heart out. The second a shot went up, boom, rebound, Richie. Boom, Richie was everywhere tonight. You could tell how bad he was not, no way, no how. He was not going out of his career not winning in the Huntsman Center. Shout out to Richie Saunders. He was awesome tonight. Missed some free throws. Oh, well, you get the win in the Holy War. You get out. And Richie, guess what? You never have to play in the Huntsman Center again. Congratulations.
Congratulations. I think that's what I was really the most excited about. He's just like, I don't have to return to this building. You know, he never really has outstanding shooting nights there. Obviously, they kept hounding like, oh, he's never won here. He's never won here. It's like he didn't play there every year. You know, there was a break in there, right? So it sounded a little bit worse than it was. He's never had an amazing showing in the Huntsman Center, and that's probably part of the reason why he wanted to get a win in there so bad. But tonight it was all about him, and it's just like it was the look on his face. He's like, we're not losing this game. I can't do this. This is the best team I've ever been on. We're playing the worst this team's ever looked in this building. I'm not walking out of here with a loss. And despite the bad shooting numbers, and I'm just basically repeating everything you said, but I was just so amazed. I mean, it was sheer grit and will and just the desire to win, and it showed up in the biggest moments. Sure, he could have made some more free throws. Sure, he could have hit a couple more threes here and there, whatever. But those are the stuff that turns ugly games into W's, because that's what it takes to win, is those hustle plays, gritty rebounds. I thought he played amazing defense for what it's worth in a night when BYU as a whole did not play well defensively. This was, I mean, he stood out to me on the court. And for a guy who, look, and we talk about him, this was an awful shooting night for him. And it was like, 9 of 19 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3. Not a good Richie Saunders shooting game. Guess what? 24 points still. 14 rebounds, 6 offensive boards, 3 assists. I mean, a steal.
I think you read the Rob Wright stats.
No, they're almost identical.
Richie was 9 of 16 from the field.
That's what I said.
You said 19. Chat, back me up.
Chat. Don't do me dirty.
Back me up.
We'll have to listen back
19
tomorrow. Either way, if he was 9 of 16, Rob Wright was 9 of 19. But incredible effort from Richie Saunders. What a way to go out for him. And he's the reason BYU won. He's the MVP by far.
100%. He was just flying, like just big play after big play. And look, the big three did their job in this game. They scored over 60 points by themselves. Rob's ability just to get downhill and just to put defenders on their toes and the pressure he puts on. We can get into the AJ double stuff. I thought that was very interesting. I thought Utah did a great job on those doubles, and maybe BYU's got to figure that out. I don't think that's necessarily an AJ problem. I think that's a whole team thing, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Chase, shout out you showing the chats right now.
Got great chats.
Do you want to get into concerning stuff now already?
Yeah, let's knock it out of the way, and then we can get to the fun stuff and celebrate this thing. I got to first, when we talk about concerning stuff, one, I got to give Utah a little bit of credit, as much as it pains me. They're the first team to really throw hard doubles at AJ and stick with it and like commit to it. Every other team we've seen either just try to play AJ straight up, one-on-one, which is very foolish, and we've seen AJ completely cook any defender that is thrown his way. Or they've sent these like soft doubles where they're like shading and cheating, and that never works because he was such a good decision maker, and one ball fake scared him off and he would split whatever double team came. Utah was the first team to really decide, hey, we're sending the house at him, and we're going to send, like, sometimes there's just 3 guys surrounding him because they understood and respected him enough to be like, this dude will kill us if we just let him go one-on-one with our guys. So I got to give them a little bit of credit for that. First team to do that. We've been saying all year, I don't know why teams aren't doing this. It did mess up BYU offensively. Take a look at the numbers, right? He still got his 20 points. That makes it 9 games in a row. Beat Kevin Durant's record for the Big 12. Still got a long way to go for Trae Young's. Still pretty cool. You look at the numbers, you think, okay, typical AJ night. It was not a typical AJ night because of those hard doubles. And here comes the concerning stuff for BYU that we're going to talk about now. I'm done talking good about Utah. AJ was really looking to pass the ball in the situations. He recognized, look, hard double means wide open holes, right? And the court is going to be exposed in certain places. Where BYU did not do well is moving to AJ and occupying those wide open holes to get the ball. Whenever he would turn around, everyone was standing around the three-point line, just expecting a wide open three. There was no cuts to the basket, no movement when AJ had the ball. And that's really concerning. I think because this was the first time they'd seen it, they hadn't really practiced it or they just weren't used to it. And so they weren't doing it. But look, when AJ gets to the short corner and they send 2-3 guys shading, you have to come to the basket. You got to flash to the high post. You will be open because they're playing 2-on-4 on that point. And so BYU never did that. And so when AJ was looking to turn and pass the ball, it wasn't as efficient as it could have been. It still got some wide open shots for BYU, but it wasn't as good as it could have been because the rest of the team got lazy, I think, and they weren't cutting the basket or showing in the open spots where they're supposed to be. It's like in football, right? Someone's playing zone, the linebackers are cheating up, or if they're in a Tampa 2, you gotta occupy the open space for the quarterback. BYU wasn't doing that for AJ tonight whenever those doubles came.
Yeah, I mean, and also you talk about being able to show yourself, help him, get open for him. He's going to find you. He's 6'9", he's 6'10", 7'1" wingspan. How many times do we have to say that? He was looking for the pass multiple times tonight, and there was a couple times Utah baited him on a couple passes. Like, I remember that one, he tried to hit Maruss in the corner, and Utah read that. Great read by Utah's defense and everything. And look, you got to give credit to Alex Jensen and that coaching staff for how they handled AJ on the doubles and everything. And we did this in the preview where how was Utah going to be able to stay in this game and everything? And honestly, kind of was how it was. They stayed in the game where it's BYU got lazy on defense and just, they were flat-footed. BYU was on their heels tonight. They were letting guys drive by them, no problem. And obviously games get weird in the Huntsman Center. You're not shooting the best and everything. But I will say on the positive side that luckily BYU closed this game out, because in years past, BYU doesn't close this game out. And that's a huge, huge win because, once again, all the pressure was on BYU in this game. Utah had no pressure. Utah's season is already over. The only thing Utah can do the rest of the season is play spoiler and then have a Jimmy V-like run in the Big 12 tournament. That's it. And they almost had their season accomplished tonight at the end there. And credit to BYU. I cannot believe Alex Jensen and Utah didn't call a timeout on that last possession. I mean, I wouldn't sleep tonight if I'm that coaching staff knowing we didn't get a timeout off.
Yeah, and especially since I think like BYU was trying to foul that last defensive possession, and to credit, and I see the chat talking about it a little bit here, they really locked in and they were able to like get a stop there at the end. It doesn't excuse the 84 points they gave up to a not good team. But when they needed it most, I mean, that trap in the corner was beautiful and, obviously forcing the out of bounds turnover there. And that was the game. And we finally, Richie finally hit some free throws, and it was, you could take a sigh. And then Tony Padilla is like, how can I make this game go any longer? And just couldn't get it done. Shame on Tony Padilla for missing out on that. The free throws were awful.
Okay, Karter. Yeah, that's where I wanted to go.
What can we say? You just got to make them. I don't know how hard it is. It's the reason BYU lost in Salt Lake last time. Yeah, step up to the line and make your free throws. I have no analysis on this. It doesn't take an expert to say, look, man, you just got to hit these. And it simply isn't enough. You look at the numbers here, Karter, 19 of 29. You left 10 points on the board, not to mention the numerous front ends. Of 1-and-1s that could have this game could have been, you could have covered the spread if you just made your free throws. It's simple, and I have zero analysis on it. You just got to do it. I understand it's hard. I understand it's rowdy. I understand something about that gym just makes you shoot awful. I get it. Those are free throws. You have 15 feet and you've shot 1 million of them in your lifetime. You gotta be better than this. You gotta make them. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and then you see the turnover numbers, and you see, 11 turnovers for BYU. That's about their season average at this point. Okay, standard. But when you're missing front end of 1-and-1 free throws, or you're going 0 for 2 from the line, those are sometimes even bigger than turnovers. And just the way it can sink all kind of momentum you have, where in just you miss the front end of a 1-on-1 where you could have had 2 points there. Utah goes on the other end, knocks down a 3. I mean, that's a 5-point difference just right there on that one play. you nailed it. Just make your free throws. It's that simple. And like these games happen. BYU should be very, 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 very thankful that they got out of this one alive with that kind of poor free throw shooting performance. And let's just call it like it is, poor effort on the defensive end, where watching that first half, I was having to watch delayed because I was driving back from the Panther game, where dudes just weren't closing out. They're not moving their feet. They were just a half step behind everything on Utah. Outside of Richie and honestly Moo Davis, I thought guys were just sluggish tonight, and it looked like they kind of got slapped in the face early, and the pressure of a rivalry game got to them early on.
Yeah, I think, and also we kind of saw maybe for the first time, Utah plays a unique style offensively because they're just not very good, and so it was very ISO ball dominant. Let's just get to the hoop, and BYU a lot of the time their guards were like, okay, like we'll let you. And look, Ahmed and Kaba can only clean up so much at the rim. When you're giving a guy a wide open lane, he's going to get to the basket and he's probably going to finish. That happened all night long. That's how Utah got most of their points. And then when they finally have to adjust, that's when they kick out. They didn't shoot well from three, but the ones they did, Karter, were wide open because BYU was just completely letting dudes beat them one-on-one, blowing by. I really haven't seen a game like it. Typically, they've played really good guards and good teams. I just think because of Utah kind of recognized it early and was like, their two guards, right? That is their whole team anyway. We talked about it in the preview. Brown and McHenry were like, okay, like I think we can just kind of put up whatever we want tonight and get to the basket at will. And they did, 25 and 21 from both of them. And then most of those were at the hoop. I mean, Brown only shot 2 threes. They hit a couple mid-range, but other than that, man, getting there at will. And that's, again, just effort. It's having, being light on your feet, staying low and staying in front of your guy. I can't believe how awful that was. I don't want to sound like really mean because it's not everyone's best game, but
that's what we talked about in the preview, though. It's weird watching the film on this Utah team where for a game at home in the Huntsman Center and a rivalry game, you almost can just throw out the film a little bit because I talked about how pathetic Utah's effort has been on the defensive end of the floor. And I said, Utah's effort's going to be there in this game. Yeah. We know it's going to be there, and we saw it immediately. You genuinely throw the film out. It doesn't matter at that point. They came out guns blazing in this one, and, man, BYU's talent gets it done. The big three you just can't say enough about them. The starting five scored 86 of the 89 points.
3 points from the bench.
Boscovich had 2. Ahmed had 1.
I mean, when they have 3 guys that good, that is what you're going to do. I didn't love the way the BYU finished it because it was just straight up like talent. It was like a lot of what they did against Villanova. If you can remember back to the beginning of the season, when they just needed buckets, it was like, AJ, Rob, can you get to the hoop? Can you finish? Can you get to the hoop? Can you finish? Luckily, Rob hit a bunch of big ones there at the end to give him that lead, and the defense pulled it out. But it's good to have those 3 guys to do it, Karter, because if you didn't, this is a different, we're having a much more somber podcast.
Yeah, and we'll get to the chat here in a second. One other thing I want to mention, too, is Rob Wright, man, at the end of these games, we saw it in the Marriott Center when he was at Baylor last year, how cool, calm, and poised he was in that crazy Marriott Center crowd when Conor McGregor and all them were there. And he was just able to make tough shot after tough shot in the clutch like that. Even though Baylor lost that game, still was making unbelievable shots. I feel so confident and so comfortable when he has the ball in his hands at the end of these games, Chase. And that is a luxury that so many college basketball teams would die for.
100%. And he has the instincts, to your point, to where he recognizes the moment and he's like, yeah, this one's on me. Like, I'm getting to the basket here and I'm going to score here. The finishing numbers still aren't great. Tonight was an amazing 9 of 19 from the field. But when it mattered most, he hit that, that little turnaround 7-foot jumper and to give BYU that cushion and ultimately ice it. But yeah, it's that killer instinct, and AJ has it. He wasn't able to showcase it tonight because again, I think Utah did a legitimately good job of keeping him off the ball and pressuring him a ton when he did. But it's such a luxury. And when we talk about March, we talk about having a point guard. When you're trying to make a deep run at the end of this season, that's what you need. And from a guy to do that in that kind of environment, which is probably the worst, most hostile one they're going to see all season. Although I can't, there's a lot of great Big 12 environments.
I was about to say, I was like,
so I don't know
they're
if
going
I can
down
say
to
that.
they're going down to the McHale Center.
Yeah,
You don't think they want revenge after last time?
Yeah, a really good one though. I think it was pretty rowdy and loud there, and also BYU fans showed up. You could hear them through the TV. Shout out if you were there in person. If you weren't there in person, let us know how it was. But yeah, always clutch, Rob Wright.
Yeah. Oh, and also last thing, Kebakeda, some of the plays he was making in that second half were unbelievable, and his foul trouble that he. Look, the refs were, I thought, pretty calling it way too tight on both sides of the ball for a rivalry game. I thought they should have let some more things slide. Kaba, man, he got some rough ones going towards his way, and I thought that really affected BYU because he was setting the tone when BYU was going on that like 10-0 run in that second half, and then he has to go out of the game, and things kind of slowly dwindle from there.
What an absolute like ref show. I don't think it was necessarily biased either way. I'm not going to complain that BYU got bogus calls or Utah got bogus calls. I think both of them. It was just insanely touchy.
But it's always like that at the Huntsman Center for some reason. Like it's just the touchiest calls, and I know you're worried about it in a rivalry game if you're a ref, where you're like, we need to establish this now because things can get heated and all that. I get that from the ref's perspective, but let the kids play.
That's the point, right? It was super touchy, and those guys. Some of those guys love to be on TV, and I was joking.
Shout out Puka Nacua. Is that what you're trying to say?
No. Although Puka was right about the refs. What I was going to say is in the preview, I was joking when I said there's a 100% chance we see Tony Padilla. I was completely joking, but also low-key knew. And, I wasn't surprised to see his mug on my screen 20 seconds into this game. Really good point here from Samuel Owen. I'm going to show chat real quick. AJ only got one personal foul, but drew 10. Mind-boggling.
Yeah, I think that's – I don't want to discredit the stat or anything because drawing 10 is unbelievable. The one personal foul, I think that's the benefit of who you're guarding because if you're AJ, I mean, it's like in pickup when you get the one guy on the other team, you're like, they're not going to pass him the ball, right? But I can kind of hang back this game and take some possessions off, kind of. But also, yeah, credit to AJ only picking up one foul, and especially in a touchy, tight game like this as well.
Well, he was taking point on that zone. They switched to that 1-2-2 at the end of the game, and also a lot of time he was just on Brown. Like he took that assignment. So I found it really impressive. I think it's a good call out from our guy Sam.
How'd you feel about the zone?
I didn't love it, especially in the first half. That zone they were running, it just led to wide open Utah threes. Thankfully, they didn't capitalize on a ton. Did not shoot well from the beyond the arc. Neither did BYU.
You know what I don't like about the zone?
Let's hear it.
Is one, BYU's more talented than this Utah team. Play man. Don't just play man. You're as good as them. You're better than them. You have the length and athleticism. Play man. I think zone's the cop out for when there's a lack of effort. You can cheat by with zone, and that's what happened tonight.
100%. I think that coaching staff recognized, like, we're just getting, like I said, blown by these point guards.
Dudes aren't moving their feet. They were just standing. They were gambling on all these reach-ins.
Yep, I think that's a really good point and exactly what happened. I just know as every zone is so beatable because every zone has its weakness. A good man-to-man defense, if you run it right, zero weaknesses. Every zone, no matter how perfect you run it, you're going to have weaknesses and it's going to be there. It's just like, again, in football, there's open space and it's going to happen. Led to wide open stuff. I thought switching it up at the very end there was a really, genius move by Kevin Young. Obviously, Utah wasn't expecting it. They had drawn up a play for a man. They took the entire shot clock down that possession and ended up with not a great shot. So I did respect that move, and I thought that was a good call. But in general, I don't like them running it sustainably. To throw it in as junk every once in a while in that sort of scenario, fine. But I don't love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to get to chats?
I'm ready to get chats. I mean,
okay. It's been popping off. So shout out everybody here
than
tonight.
we do. Yeah, I mean,
we will try and get to a lot of these. We're gonna be popping around on these. First one, I do want to shout out my guy Alex Beach.
Shout out Alex.
Rest in peace to the
Ooh.
Maybe we'll do that at the very end of the show.
Alex, why'd you bring
after
it up?
hours? And yeah, Alex also said, y'all jinxed this game with your overconfidence. Threw a winky face emoji.
Hey, we said it'd
be blame
weird.
it on us. We pulled the Tavernari, as they say in this business.
Yeah, not quite. I mean, not that bad. But man, they get to play. They play again in like what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, we'll be there.
So we'll see it again in Provo.
Assuming I don't get screwed on my flight. So
Yeah, here's to that. But we'll see. We'll see how confident we are for that one.
Yeah, doesn't it feel like that next game is going to be kind of similar to the one that was like senior night last year, where it's like BYU comfortably wins by 9, but it's not, or like 11, but it's not like how you want it to be, where it's just they smoke them. Maybe this one's so close together that maybe it will be. They'll have a bad taste in their mouth from this one. But anyhow, Rick in the chat said ugly but still sweet. That's
always sweet. Best
way to put it. Tony Padilla confirming that his own goaltending call is objectively hilarious. Tony Padilla, one of the highest rated officials. I don't know what you guys.
He's the highest rated. Yeah, PFF.
How about the Hornets?
Alex, what are we doing? Charlotte teams.
We'll free our guy. Win is a win, closer than it should have been, but at the end of the day, at least we aren't Michigan. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, Michigan fell to Wisconsin earlier today, Chase.
Big dub for the Badgers, a team BYU beat by dang near 30 earlier in the season. And that was in Ann Arbor too. I mean, really big win from Wisconsin. They shot, if you're a fan of college basketball, go watch the highlights. They shot out of their minds. The shot making from both teams down the stretch. I mean, the entire second half was it was back and forth. It was incredible. Really big win. That win continues to look pretty dang good for BYU.
Some more Padilla stuff in here. I'm trying to get through this. Some bench stuff in here. Rick, get out of here with the air puka. No.
Oh man,
no
Rick.
Stuff in here. No Ram stuff in here. Shout out Camden in the chat. My heart is still racing. Too close for my health, brother. If I didn't have a heart attack today, I'm never having a heart attack.
Carter didn't have a heart attack because he already had one.
Oh my gosh!
In Bank of America Stadium earlier.
I was numb, so it doesn't matter. Angela said the turnovers are killing us. What will it take to clean that up before Arizona?
Great question, Angela. And what's up? She's always here. We love her. I think the biggest thing, again, we talked about it the other night. They don't really get turnovers forced on them. They more just hand the ball over. A lot of it's trying to split double teams and then just wayward passes. I think just valuing the ball, not being too aggressive on these doubles and making sure you're, attacking when the time is right rather than trying too quick to split. And then just looking where you're passing and, confirming. It sounds so stupid, but, it's stupid when you throw the ball over the guy's, 10 feet over the dude's head. Like, it's just those little things, valuing every possession and making sure that you're being patient enough while staying aggressive with the basketball, I'd say.
Yeah. Sam in the chat said Richie Tater Tot King might need a rebound-esque name change. I'll let the chat handle that one. You guys are the smarter ones here. So.
Yeah, rebound-esque name.
Jen Smith said, being on the East Coast is brutal, ugly, but can't wait for them to come to Provo. Being on the East Coast is brutal for this, but it doesn't matter. We're here late. We'll be here all night. Don't worry, Chase. How's Mountain Time? Is it nice?
I mean, it's still almost 11. I'm pretty sleepy. I got 9 a.m. church.
Eli Bond said Richie was flying onto the boards every possession. This chat's just popping off right now. So we're gonna have to skip down. Ethan Holiday said stealing Jamal Murray's Orangeville Prep nickname because no one uses it anymore. Rob Wright is the glitch. He just glitches by dudes in the blink of an eye. Chase,
I don't hate it. We talked about. I mean, he's so shifty. He finds his way. He can get into the paint. He can get in the restricted area literally every possession anytime he wants. I've never seen him not do it. He's not always finishing, right? And maybe there's a few guys by him. It's not taking his shot's not the best move right then. But that dude gets to the restricted area literally at will. And so I don't hate the nickname, Ethan. Don't
He
hate
also
it.
said toxic take, but what's stopping BYU fans from taking over the Huntsman Center for some random non-con next year just to show them what a real fan base looks like? You don't want to give them the, you don't want to give them the money. You don't want to give them the ticket prices when BYU's not there, I guess.
Also, who's
I don't
got
know.
the
I think
time?
that's actually
That's
pretty
crazy.
funny though.
It would be hilarious.
All right. Well, we'll keep moving down here. Man, it's so fun being this good. That's another great point to this because BYU played what? A C- D+ game, honestly, for their standards at this point, and still pulled out a win in a rivalry a game on the road where things can get weird. Like, you can't overlook that.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even read out these stats a lot. I'm sure everyone's seen it by now, but these splits aren't amazing. 50% from the field, that's pretty good, but 23% from the 3-point, and then you miss 10 free throws, and we're still like, walking away with a dub up on the hill. That talks in that testament to how talented and really good this team is. So, great comment.
Rob, Richie, and AJ is such an unguardable trio. I'm not worried about our translation to bigger games against Arizona's, Iowa State's, Houston's. We will need better all game focus on the defensive end. I think that's a great point. I was surprised they didn't go to the press much, really.
They did a little bit. It didn't really result in a whole lot. Maybe a couple hurry ups, but when you're getting burned, one-on-one going to the basket, press isn't the greatest idea because you're just overextending yourself even more, giving those dudes more runway.
Yeah, I just thought if you throw the press out there, and the problem is, you're right, it's just the effort on the press, then you're going to get beat even more and you overextend yourself. But maybe it brings a little bit of momentum, but obviously when it got beat immediately, they're like, all right, we can't keep running this. So
yeah,
good point.
Exactly.
Yeah. We got some chats here, man. I'm trying to keep up with y'all. Appreciate everyone in the chat right now. Jack said Rob Wright versus UConn was a one-off. Should have no doubt he's much in the clutch after Clemson. Man, these are some tough reads for me tonight, Chase.
Yeah, but, I mean, you've had an emotional day. It's all right. We get it. I like this comment because, I think Rob probably blames himself. I don't know who blames Rob exactly, but the turnover against UConn when they had a chance to go score a bucket and win was tough, but I'll always trust that dude. And we haven't thought about it since, right? And he's been clutching every other moment. So love that.
I love it. Shout out Walker Era in the chat, 1966. Just send us some love on the show. So shout out this guy.
Shout out this guy. I think that's my mission president.
Is it really?
I think so. President Walker. I'm assuming I'm putting 2 and 2 together.
What a guy.
He does identify me as working with him. So
you still practicing exact obedience over there, Chase?
Doing my best. Yeah. Good to see you, President. Thanks for hopping on.
Arizona versus BYU will be exciting. Bear down. And if Padilla is reffing our game again, I may not consider watching. Big 12 looking good. From an Arizona fan here. I think both athletic directors and Kevin Young and Tommy Lloyd should just come to an agreement, get on a conference call, and protest Brett Yormark and say, look, if you have Padilla in this game, we boycott. We're not playing the game. You lose all the TV money. We're not doing it.
I mean, Padilla could just step out on court.
Be okay with it.
You think Padilla could hold like a 3-hour time slot though on his own? I mean, he's got the talent for it. He could just be on camera there center court. See what he can do.
Let him and Gottlieb run it. Jack said, I don't know what MUS stands for. I think the Utah student section, right? And just gonna call them Marus wannabes. Shout out. Oh man. Also, Moo hitting 2 free throws while the MUS chants DUI at him and then pointing at them. What a killer. Shout out Moo.
Hey, Moo hit his free throws, man. He only had the 2, but he stepped up and hit them, and they were wet, dude. Didn't touch rim.
A lot of Moo buzz in the chat. People loving Moo Davis. Moving on here. Whew. Also, this was Utah's best offensive game of the year. Annoying, it's against us, but not surprising. That's going to happen for BYU, though. When you have the target on your back now, and we've talked about this so many times on the show, when you have the number 1 overall pick, you're a top 10 team in the country, people know who you are, people know how much you're spending on NIL on your roster, and know how many NBA scouts are in the building. You're going to get everybody's best shot, and people are going to this. This is their tryout. This is a lot of guys' tryouts when they play BYU.
Yeah, I mean, I'd get up for this game, knowing the eyeballs and obviously the pedigree of who you're playing, and then adding the rivalry in there. And like, I don't think it's super underrated. I think the juice that a lot of those guys probably got from the crowd, because that's legitimately the first time they've played in a crowd like that. Like, that's the first time they've seen that building, like, for most of them, I should say, like somewhat full and rowdy and loud. So that juices you up, man. That brings the energy. I don't know if I'd say it was their best offensive game of the year. They didn't shoot really good from three. They've had better games where they've shot pretty insane, but they're against like bye games, so I don't know if that counts.
You know what I thought about watching this game? The European kid that just arrived in Utah on like Thursday, Lingarita, number 11. He just thinks this is normal for Utah games. He's like, oh, so this is what it's like every game. This is sick.
He's like, man, American college hoops. And then they're
like,
gonna go play like Oklahoma State, and he's gonna be like, where is everyone?
Shout out Zion. Shout out the Duke Pod. If there's any random Duke fans hanging out, make sure to go subscribe to the Crazy Cast. They were live today after the SMU game. Shout out Zion, man. They do awesome work. Sam said BYU fans had to pay ridiculous amounts for Utah tickets. Utah needs to grow up. Well, in the defense of Utah and Utah, like, if they want to come to a game at the Marriott Center, they're gonna have to pay even crazier money. So,
yeah. I mean,
it's weird. Do you price out your own fans? It's weird, but you got to give Utah credit, man. They fought.
You gotta respect the effort. Yeah. And yeah, Will agrees. Got to give him credit. The must spelled backwards. The sum. Shout out to that. Yeah, man, it was loud, and I could tell. That it was a banging environment. Lots of BYU fans, though, not to be outdone. There was some BYU chants.
Will Free said, thought Diamande and Boop could have played more this game instead of Maruss and Bosco. Chase, you were texting me that during the game too.
I was really, really, really dying to see some Diamande minutes. I really thought that Dom could have done something defensively, especially like the on-ball defense was the biggest weakness for BYU tonight. He, behind Moo Davis, I would assume is your best on-ball defender, and he brings a bit of spark, in the transition game, and just to be, I don't know, a bit of a spark, energizer bunny, what Richie used to be. I thought he could have done that. Clearly that wasn't the call. We saw Russ. We saw Bosco get in there. I don't know. It worked. A win's a win. I can't sit here and criticize the coaching staff, especially when I don't know what's going on in practice and everything, and seeing these guys. I just would have really liked to see. I think they could have thrived in an environment like this, but not to be.
Yeah. Rick said, credit to the coaching staff for keeping our guys grounded and resilient. Young, greater than Jensen.
Yeah, Jensen's got a long way to go. It's like, he's not bad. It's his first year. I just think he's got a long way to go. Credit him, though, for cooking up the defense for BYU and AJ. So,
yeah. I mean, nobody in college can guard AJ, so you have to foul. I think that's back to our conversation a little bit earlier. There was another chat right here I want to get to. AJ, Rob, Richie trio, the most balanced in college basketball ever.
Ooh.
I'd probably lean back towards like Bobby Hurley, Grant Hill, Christian Laettner, but I'm too young to have watched those. That's just the first trio that comes to my mind when I think college basketball trios.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even mentioned like Matt Carlino, Nate Austin, Brock Zylstra. I'm just kidding. I mean, ever is such a stretch. How many hundreds of thousands of college basketball players have played? But this is the best BYU's ever seen. I think it's the best in the country this year. And basketball this year is insane. So I think it's saying a ton. They're unbelievable, man. And they deliver every night. Every night.
Every night. Even if the three's not there, or like if something's missing in their game, it's overcompensated by, okay, they are hitting their three that night, or, they're getting to the free throw line. Like, and just unbelievable. I can't say much more. Jack said a Wisconsin dub, Miami dub, Nova dub, Clemson dub. Great day for the Cougs. The non-conference looking a lot better after today, Chase.
It's looking amazing, man. All those teams are legit. and they keep winning.
All right, let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with these chats.
No, Gray Pickett said Terrence Brown's got the ugliest shot in college basketball, but they keep going in. He's absolutely right. That dude was.
I want to give this guy credit. I'm assuming he's real. Shout out Tyler. Ute fan here. Great game, Cougars. Y'all have put together a great team. Let's give this guy some credit because Utah fans get a bad rap in the BYU community. This is what we like to see, man.
Yeah, and it was a great game, and it's all fun, man. It's just hoops, and I appreciate him coming in because we really do. I really was impressed with how Utah played. I mean, they took him to the wire. So,
yeah. The craftiness of Richie in the paint is a thing of beauty.
Savvy vet. That's veteran stuff.
Brady in the chat said, reminiscent of the game at the Huntsman Center 1 or 2 years ago where Dallin Hall dribbled it out of bounds on the baseline on BYU's last possession. Love Dallin Hall, but this is kind of the difference when you have Rob Wright playing in a game like this where you're comfortable with him, and a moment like this isn't that big. And also, like, for a guy like Rob Wright, once you're in the game and everything, the pressure's there, the rivalry and everything, but he doesn't have that extra layer of added pressure like some of these Utah guys have playing in this game.
100%. I think that might have added, we talked about it in the preview, but like this was their first experience and they don't maybe not understand exactly what it's like. They don't have like the emotional ties that we do as fans, obviously, or like Richie Saunders and Kaba Keita did. But I feel like they seem like they really cared, and they seemed like they understood that it was a big game. You could tell by the celebration at the end, like they were pretty fired up that they won this one, and we'll see what they do, obviously, in Provo in 2 weeks. But I expect that one to be far more dominant than this one. And they got a taste, man, and they came through and delivered, and that's the first win in that building in a few years here. So they did it.
Yeah, good for them because including tonight, Huntsman Center games are freaking weird.
They're so weird. They're so weird.
Like I said, when those curtains drop, man, things get weird.
Ghosts come out.
Said ghosts come out. Tater Top King with 14 hash bounds. All right, chat.
Hash bounds. I mean, it's not. I appreciate
we're getting there. We're getting there.
It's a try.
I appreciate how they emphasize how to say AJ's name on the broadcast. AJ DiBonsa. It gets a lot of people. Chase, how are the commentators tonight? What grade would you give them? I had it on mute most of the time. So
I mean, I actually really like that crew. The name is escaping me right now. I'm embarrassed now.
It wasn't Farnham tonight, right?
It was Farnham. It was Sean Farnham.
Oh, it was?
And is his name Dave something? Why is it escaping me? He used to do a lot of BYU football games. He hasn't. I think he like switched regions or whatever. He goes with Brock Osweiler now. Dave Fleming and Sean Farnham. I think they're really, really good. They're the West Coast ESPN crew, and I enjoyed. They were off about a few things. Sean he's convinced that wasn't a goaltend. They called it a goaltend. He got the time wrong a couple times. But Fleming is the most underrated college guy in my mind because he doesn't get these high marquee games. He gets these like West Coast late night things. That's where he thrives. I think he does a great job. And I'm associating him with BYU more and more because he just keeps getting these. So
yeah, I always think about that too whenever I'm like trashing on, not true, you weren't trashing or anything, just like nitpicking like commentators and stuff because we do it all the time and all sports fans do. And I sit there and think like, I screw up on this podcast all the time. Like, man,
yeah.
I know this is much lower stakes and everything, but it just cracks me up because I know when I'm watching a game because you don't think about it. You're like, oh, that was a foul. And then you see the replay. You're like, no, that wasn't a foul at all. That was actually very clean. How many times I did that at the Panther games? Lord knows. All right, moving on. Also, that Texas-Bama game was ridiculously long. I flew from Minneapolis to Salt Lake City. There right now. We took off with 6 minutes to go in the first half. The game wasn't done until after landing 2 hours later. That Texas-Bama game went on forever. BYU was on ESPN News till like almost halftime. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it was ESPN like 5 minutes left, and they're like, and if we're switching over, I'm like, I forgot.
Well, the problem is News. ESPN keeps they'll slightly delay tip-offs throughout the day. It's got to be a 2 hour and 15 minute window, no matter what, or just make it 2.5 hours. That's how long these games are going now.
Yeah.
Even if there's a 5-10 minute window in between the games, just head over to the studio, let Seth Greenberg blab about something, and let's move on. Let's go. Like, let's stop having to, I got to go to ESPN Plus, ACC Network Extra, ESPN News. It's just USA Network. I got to go to all these random freaking places to catch the start of these games. I couldn't imagine being, in my 50s or 60s or even older when I don't understand all this stuff, because even I struggle sometimes being like, okay, what games is freaking crap on? But then you're like, wait, I got to have that subscription for that to go to there, and then that. I can't watch the start of this game because I don't have that. Like, this is crazy. Pisses me off. You can see how mad it gets me. We're good.
I'm with you. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I won't add to that, though.
Yeah. Moving on. It disgusts me that Utah fans only care about their basketball team one time a year. I honestly wish they cared about and supported their program. It would make it more fun. Absolutely. You want your rival to matter. Like Duke, Carolina, Duke needs Carolina to be good, and Carolina needs Duke to be good. That's what's great about it. Ohio State needs Michigan to be relevant, and Michigan needs Ohio State to be relevant. Like, you got to have those things in sports. Now, if there's one-off years, that's fine, but it dampens the rivalry when both aren't relevant.
Yeah, 100%. At least they showed out tonight, for the game. In a year where it's been really rough for Utah fans to support this basketball team, so it's tough to blame them. We'll see where they go from here. Again, the schedule's not getting any easier for them, so we'll see what they do. They'll knock off someone.
If you're a Utah fan, though, like, I get it though. Like, if your team went outside of tonight, you watch their other games this year, especially in the Big 12 so far, where you just lackluster effort, and you're like, am I really going to spend my night driving half an hour or 40 minutes through Salt Lake traffic and going to the most inconvenient parking place ever and the University of Utah's campus and go see a game at the Huntsman Center where they look like sometimes they don't care on the court? Like, it's tough, but a game like tonight and winning a game like tonight for the Utah program, these are why these are huge program defining games going forward, and you got to build off that momentum. And even though they didn't win tonight, I think there is stuff to take away from tonight going forward for this Utah basketball team. And I know BYU fans are like, we don't care. Like,
I'm not going to say another word about Utah. Yeah, we've been way too nice to them, honestly.
But yeah, I mean, you got to call it out. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Kata with a black headband in the first half and quickly switched back to his white one after halftime. The details that matter. Shout out stats department in the chat.
I'm with him. I'm a super superstitious guy, so I would 100%. I'd be doing something like that, and it worked. Shut him out.
Keep in mind that this was Utah's only meaningful game this year besides the next one in Provo. They gave their best shot and will stumble and bumble through everything else. You're probably right. Shout out AP Chase. And Padilla should start a YouTube live stream so he can get his airtime. Padilla, open invite. Come on the show whenever you want. How about that?
Oh.
Is Tony Padilla in the chat? Look at this username.
Wait, it's Tony Padilla hater.
Yeah, no. I hope that was made just 10 seconds ago just for this. What do you attribute shooting 23% 3-point percentage for, Chase?
My honest, this is really backed up by next gen stats here. The Huntsman Center. Something about those rims, man, and that place. No one shoots
and then they have the mics on the rims, and when you miss at the Huntsman Center, man, it hurts. It feels like you're playing at an outdoor park.
Yeah. The two and more legit reason, I thought a lot of them were rushed and a little bit forced for BYU. Didn't have a ton of rhythm in a lot of those threes. A lot of them, Moo's taking him off the dribble, although he hit that one. And Richie was doing it with guys in his eye. But when when Richie was open, those are the ones that he sunk. The other ones were all just they were contested, and he was hunting for it a little bit.
Yeah, 100% agree. Not going to anything else. Chase, I think you're mission president here. Just to verify, I sent Chase to the cooks. He'll have to explain what that means. Is this an off-air or on-air conversation?
It's just I just got sent to these really cool places called the Cook Islands. Look it up. And COVID. This is a funny story. COVID happened immediately after, and got sent home. My mission was over. I was 20 months in. That was it. Ended. But
so that's where Brandon Cooks is from, right?
I think so.
Will Free in the chat said, big weekend for the Big 12. All other conferences, top teams had a tough weekend. Best B-ball conference in America.
Yeah, it's not even an argument this year. There really is none. The SEC's been middling a little bit.
I would say the SEC is the fourth best conference.
Yes, because the Big Ten, that's had some surprise teams step up here. Some other ones also tank. The ACC looking a lot more competitive than we thought.
So the issue with the ACC is they don't have a lot of national title contenders. I would say, I think Duke is a fringe national title contender, if we're being honest. I don't think they're a bona fide one. I have my reasons, but this is a BYU show. I still think, but then outside of Duke, I don't think anybody else in the ACC has a shot at winning the national title. Maybe if Louisville gets healthy, there's a lot going on behind the scenes there where I'm like, I don't even know. I think Duke's the only probable national title contender, but they have a lot of teams that are going to make that freaking tournament, and you're going to go, the ACC has like 8 teams in this thing this year. Like they had 3 or 4 last year. So, Big Ten, a lot of solid teams and everything. Michigan's going to be good still. They're not this juggernaut all-time team like we all thought they were, in my opinion. They won a lot of good blowout games. Great. Let's see. Maybe this team peaked a little too early. Maybe they needed this one. We'll see. But the Big 12 is so far beyond everyone else where the Big 12, I mean, you got to put Houston, BYU, Arizona, Iowa State, and potentially even Texas Tech, I think could all be national title contenders come March.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And like you have super frisky teams like TCU. UCF was ranked there for a sec, but then they fell to Oklahoma State, another really frisky team. You had Kansas losing to West Virginia. Kansas got problems for sure, but an insane conference. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's a really good comment there by Will.
Yeah. Moving back, chanting overrated by the Utes while they're losing is still crazy to me. Shout out James Holmes. Sam in the chat said, y'all think that the NCAA would give Jimmer some eligibility? Do we need him?
Whoa.
Would Jimmer start over Moody Davis?
Who would start over Moody Davis? Just kidding.
I suppose that the big 3 need to rest a few minutes here and there, but I also think they could play 40 minutes each. Why not try a tired big 3 greater than any bench rotation? Give them the rest and just be creative with the media timeouts. Sit down, with a minute or 2 to go before and everything. It's fine.
Yeah, you watch if there's ever a foul or something like in the 4-minute in the 5th minute. So if the clock starts with 4, but we haven't reached the under 4, KY will take AJ out immediately so that he can get back in on that under 4 timeout. It's just they're strategic with it. Rob just needs to play, man. Like he has to play. And Richie, I mean, you don't want to take him off the court ever. So I understand what he's saying. You want the big 3 there all the time. You need rest, man. I mean, that's why these guys are kind of getting blown by defensively a little bit, because that's the first thing that goes when you're tired is you just get lazy on on-ball defense. So,
yeah, that's fair. Jack said, shout out Karter. If my favorite team lost in the playoffs, I'd still be pounding caffeinated beverages in the back of the Denver Chili's professional show. If I had that option, I would have been. Still going to be pounding some beverages, but yeah, rough night.
Jack, I can't wait. We need to meet up at the Denver Chili's, brother. We out here.
Rise and Shout BYU in the chat said, yo, what's good? BYU on top. Will Free said, Houston looking good, Arizona looking good. Those matchups are going to be so fun to watch. I think Houston's only playing in Provo this year, right? They don't have a home and home with them, right?
You're correct. So that's actually a really big win for BYU. The Arizona one obviously is going to be insane. Can't forget Iowa State. Like all of those are just must-see TV. 2 words for you. Nash and Paul, must-see TV.
Yeah. Also, for late game defensive possessions, imagine a Mu, Diamande, AJ Kaba, and Ahmed lineup. Not your typical BYU lineup. Just length, not a lot of finesse, and crazy athleticism.
Yeah. I mean, it would depend on the matchup. Having the 2 centers out there would be risky. I mean, if they needed a 3, you wouldn't run with that. But yeah, it is special stuff. Again, sucked we didn't see Diamande, but I'm not calling the shots. I haven't been to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, it's true. Huntsman Center is haunted. Leaving there without any significant injuries is the real victory.
Yeah, really good point. I mean, they've stayed. I say they've stayed healthy. They've lost Dawson Baker. They've lost Nate Pickens. The big three have stayed healthy, which is all you need, to be completely honest with you.
Quick shout out to BYU football for retaining everyone. Next year will be just as fun, and they're going to be a favorite. And every preseason thing, show, all that. Just wait till June, July comes. They're going to be the preseason favorites, and because people, whenever they're doing their preview shows, they love seeing the retention numbers. That is the number one thing people point to. So if you're comfortable being a favorite, because that's what BYU is going to be in the Big 12 next year.
Yeah, I can't believe some of them. Obviously, LG coming back was a shock, but really, really awesome. That's the best running back in the Big 12, and arguably, he's up there in the top 5 in the country. And then the fact that you didn't lose a single marquee player on defense after your defensive coordinator, who was, from what I understand, well loved and really dang good, went to Michigan, and no one decided to follow him. Pretty crazy. Says a lot about Kalani, I think, and the coaching staff and what they're doing there. So should be sick.
Also hoping we get Bruce Branch for basketball. Next year's lineup would be almost as crazy as this one. Agreed. Yeah, rise and shout, sweet. BYU. Utah fans are the worst at supporting their team in basketball. We got Joey in the chat. Great analysis. When are you sending that Venmo for Mexican last night? Request me, Joey. Let's get out of here. Come on, man. Imagine BYU being that bad. I said, let's split the check. And then it's like, no, we'll do one check. Then you Venmo me. All right, Joey. Let's move on. We're just going to have to.
And now he's on your live stream to come remind you about it.
You
didn't pay him right away? It's Venmo.
I told him, I said, I didn't see the bill. I said, let me know how much the bill is, and then I'll pay you. Never told how much the bill was. Pay him right now on the show. Get this over with. Also, yeah, no, I feel like going. Imagine BYU being that bad. Could never happen. Oh, they've had some bad seasons. Wyatt Kamara. How about Keita's a violent high-flying block straight down into a calm dribble and pass? Unreal. I audibly yelled when that happened because I think Bears and Packers was going on at the same time. I think I freaked out more about that cable block than I did seeing that crazy Bears-Packers ending.
Yeah, I mean, it just means so much more for Kaba to do it against Utah. So I was really happy for him. Obviously, he missed the dunk at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no. But ended up being spectacular. And
man.
Win against this old team.
I'm sure the Dawes block on AJ's dunk attempt, that's going to be on all the Utah highlight reels and everything for their promos. But sucks. Man, when he went up for that one, you go, no way. And then it was going to be like a Yoli Childs type deal. Moving on. Let's see here. Shrimpy Jacks. What a night, boys. $140 at my poker night. Shout out. And BYU took the dub. Go Cougs. The rims and the curtains up top, everything is a joke about them. I mean, rise and shout, BYU, man.
He's here to air it out, bro.
I attribute the poor three-point shooting percentage to the Huntsman rims. You could hear those things clank from the East Coast. Yes, you most certainly could. What if in reality they're invisible, but in reality the Huntsman Center is just playing with double rims?
Invisible
double. And he put that in the chat too. Shrimpy said also, Karter, so sorry for your Panthers. Fitting for Puka to send you out though.
Oh man.
Hey, do you harbor any when Puka dropped that touchdown, man? I was like, all right, I actually think we're gonna win this thing.
Do you harbor any bad feelings towards Puka Nacua after tonight, Karter?
No, absolutely not. No, I like the Rams. Like, I like Stafford. I like McVay. I think they're the best team in football. Just,
oh man,
yeah, man. Just my heart getting ripped out. I mean,
were you? I mean, this is a classic sports debate, but you were there in person, and this obviously meant a lot to you. Were you glad it was close instead of like the Rams just won by like 20? This was better, even though it seems like it hurts more because you were like, we were right there with a lead late in the fourth quarter.
In the moment, yeah, it hurts more. But tomorrow, I know I'm going to be like, we had the lead 2 minutes left against the best team in the NFL. And that's and also it's different with this Panthers team because everyone's like, fake 8-9 team. They stink. They shouldn't have been in the playoffs. And then the Panthers proved their worth in this game. If they would have gone out and lost 70-0, a lot of questions in the offseason, brings a lot of hope going into next season. So
I agree. And they showed a lot.
Gosh, that game, man.
I'm sorry.
People are wondering if they should start a GoFundMe to pay back my parents for the Mexican.
I mean,
I wouldn't be opposed.
Save your money. Save your money, chat. Don't give them any. What did you order? Chimichanga? I mean, chat, we don't need to be paying for this. Pay Joey.
Some arroz con pollo, you know? Some queso blanca.
Arroz con pollo.
Paul Feinbaum thinks 4 SEC teams will make the Final Four.
He thinks 5 SEC teams are making the Final Four.
After that Ole Miss Miami game, there's some great Feinbaum tweets going around. I don't understand how Kata does it. I don't understand how Wright does it. How are they able to engage stealth mode, then just be where they need to be? How?
Special stuff, man. The team's really, the starting 5 especially, they've really been able to gel. Back to talking about BYU basketball. I feel like we haven't had
yeah, I know.
They're starting to gel to a really extreme point where they really start to feel comfortable. I know it wasn't pretty tonight, obviously, but that 5 especially has built up a really strong chemistry. You can tell.
Yeah,
it's about getting the other guys in it now.
And going forward, where people are, I know you are worried about the bench rotations, and you should be. And guys step up here and there, and I think there's still so much time until March Madness. Like, yes. I know it feels like the pressure's mounting because you're starting to see the quad 1 resumes and you're getting into conference play and all this stuff. But there is so much time, because think about this exact moment where BYU basketball was a year ago when they lose at the Huntsman Center and you go, oh my gosh, they're not even a tournament team at this point. They're going to be playing in the NIT. Chase, we're going to be doing NIT podcasts on this show. And then they started to figure out and got hot at the right time in like mid-February, early to mid-February, and figured it out. There's still so much for this team to grow over the next couple months, and you don't want to be playing your best basketball right now. You want to be playing your best basketball going into March. That's the number one thing. And honestly, I don't think BYU is playing their best basketball right now. I think they still have room to grow, especially the bench. And in the tournament, is BYU going to run a 7-8-man rotation? Absolutely. Guess what? A lot of national title teams have won with 7-8-man rotations. It's kind of the standard college basketball.
Yeah, and you got an amazing experience tonight. As ugly as it was, you need to learn how to win ugly games where the ball's not falling. The gym is weird and cursed, and the crowd is rowdy, and you're off your game. You can still win those games. That's how good this team is. It's amazing to have that experience. 11 in a row, man. And then they have so much, like, to your point, so much left in the tank. Like, there's the pinnacle of this team has not even been seen yet. That's what we got to look forward
to. Jack said, please let Darren Peterson be healthy for the Kansas game. Yeah, yes. We got to see it.
Got to see it. You know what? We're going.
I think he will be healthy. I think he'll be playing for this game.
He's over 30 minutes today, right? That lost to West Virginia.
Yeah, yikes, Kansas. Yeah. That's a whole nother discussion. My Wisconsin coworkers are in shambles because of that Packers game, so you're not alone. Hey, man, we'll drink to that, I guess.
Wisconsin fans should be happy about that. I mean, drown it in the Michigan defeat and beating Michigan. Yeesh.
I would much rather lose like the Panthers did than how the Packers did. I mean, they blowing that lead to your rival.
Blowing a lead's like the worst feeling in sports, bar none. Nothing is.
Would
worse
you
than
know that?
A massive lead.
Being a Pats fan? No,
I mean, they blew 21-0 to like the Bills in week 16 or whatever. That wasn't a great feeling, but didn't really matter.
Oh, rats.
BYU's blown big leads before.
Week 16, rats. Oh, man, the Pats. Oh.
All right, how about this? Playing in at Iowa State, BYU goes up like 20. Dallin Hall gets that massive, like, Trey Stewart to Dallin Hall oop. Remember that? And then
yeah.
And then Cyclones catch fire, and all of a sudden it's like we're blowing this lead. That's the dread of knowing the other team just has momentum, is getting hot, and then you blow it. Worst feeling in sports. Worst.
Yeah.
Maybe top 5 worst feelings in the world.
You know what's a terrible feeling is when you score a touchdown and you see there is Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay on the other, and Puka Nacua on the other side of the ball with almost 3 minutes left and 3 timeouts. That's a bad feeling. What was the ticket dispute that the commentators mentioned? I have no idea.
They just talked about like the Utah selling they held the tickets for a long time. Then a few days ago, they finally were like, tickets are available for purchase. It wasn't.
Was it? I didn't get to see much pictures. I haven't been on Twitter too much. Was it pretty blue?
It was pretty blue. Commentators said 50-50.
I'm sure that was mostly in the general admission part up top.
Yeah. I don't think it was a sellout. You could see open seats, but it was pretty blue. If you were at the game, if you're in the chat, if you listen right now, you were at the game. Identify yourself. Tell us how it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Just hopping in to say Utah sucks. Well, shout out.
Shout out Colson. New
Grant
father.
Farley. Congrats. Utah fans celebrating they only lost this game is a big yikes for where they are as a program. That is. But
don't celebrate losses.
Things can turn around. Things can turn around quick. Look where Louisville was with Kenny Payne just a very short time ago.
Yeah.
They were celebrating a made basket, a steal. Rick Platt said the deep blue on Xavion was pretty good. I hope he can develop into a role player next year. Yeah, ideally, best case scenario for him, and I think BYU going forward is if he's able to redshirt the remainder of the season and keep at a year of eligibility and just grow and develop. I think that's the move.
All right. I think it's totally right. He's probably redshirting this year. We're not going to see him play again.
Any idea what the status is of KJ Perry? He's on the roster technically. I think they technically could burn the eligibility, but I don't think I'm almost positive he's not going to be playing this season. I think that is a break glass in case of emergency type deal. And even then, it's kind of don't want to do it. Just saw that Utah BYU conference matchup is now tied 119-119. That's crazy.
It's crazy. That's a rivalry, man. That's
Shout
special.
out Samuel Owen.
Yeah.
Jack said, where do we draw the line for college loyalty? Like if the Nuggets played Yegor in the finals, I hope Yegor misses every shot. Yeah, no, college loyalty's out the window. If Puka would have had, 5 fumbles today, I would have been rejoicing.
Yeah, whoever AJ gets drafted to, I'm buying a jersey. But every time he plays the Celtics, I'm sorry, brother, I'm not rooting for you. But
I would say that, but I would say the same thing. But the issue is he's gonna be a Hornet, so it's just weird.
Yeah, best of both words for you, I guess. Not good for him. Ruins his career. But
no, it doesn't. He'll be a Pacer. Halliburton sacrificed himself, so AJ will be a Pacer. At this point, how BYU is playing, we should be a Final Four team. Agreed. I've been on this. Yeah. You guys know how I feel. BYU's a national title contender.
Agreed.
True and true. And you're not going to see the national media fully catch up to this yet, because you're going to see college basketball podcasts and everything be like, you barely win this one against Utah. You didn't look that great. I don't know how we can believe in this BYU team at that point. And then when you're going to get a big Monday on January 26th in BYU, Arizona, and if BYU could go out and win that game and AJ looks awesome, you're going to see everybody talking about this BYU team going forward. And the hype train's going to be off the rails. And you're going to see SVP talking about it immediately after the game on SportsCenter. That's the night to look forward to. That's when the national media is going to start hopping in on this BYU team.
Yeah, it's going to be a sight to see.
Yeah. Moving on, I would be tempted as coach to say just have Rob drive every single play. What is his drive success rate, point/assist? Might need to get advanced stats on that. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Yeah, but we're gonna wake up the unpaid intern right now. We're gonna have to count those for you. Figure that out.
If our bench can step up, we'll do something special. Imagine BYU winning March Madness and BYU football winning the college football playoffs. That would be tough. That'd be great.
It'd be pretty tough.
Chase, huge Broncos fan.
No,
he's more of a Tebow guy, not a Broncos fan.
Tebow, hey, Patriots legend Tim Tebow, Patriots legend.
General admission was 80-20 blue. Lower bowl was 50-50. That's about what I expected.
All right. Yeah.
Because usually, when we've been to the game the last couple of years, the general admission is almost all blue.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
They also forced a refund for BYU tickets for more than 6 per purchase. That's crazy.
You couldn't buy
That's
more than
crazy.
6. Wild.
I was there. I'd say 65-45 Utah. We were much louder, though. You could hear that. Whenever I'd turn up the TV on that one, you could hear the BYU chants.
Math isn't mathing, Colson. That's 110, brother. I think he means 55.
I'm not gonna lie. It's 1:30 in the morning. I lost my mind at a Panther game. I would have never have known that was 110. Not in a million years. And now we're getting some 50-50s in here. GA all blue. It's a rivalry game. They're almost always close. That is normal. Yep. Wait, my math was awful.
Oh, okay,
55-45. Okay, he fixed it.
He got it. He knows what he's doing.
Utah played their little hearts out tonight. They gave everything they had. Too bad they still came up short. LOL. Rise and shout. Chase, you want to read that? It's kids show. Come on, man. But appreciate you not using the full spelling. Glad Utes came up short. Nice to watch. Broncos winning it all. Love having a bye over your Pats.
Hey, man. Hey, man.
Colson, don't worry.
We got you, Colson.
Oh, man. Well, that's one heck of a show, Chase.
Oh, that heck of a show. Yeah. Shout out everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only a heck of a show because of them, right? We're just two dorks talking about BYU.
Yeah. Should I break some bad news for people in the chat?
Yeah, might as well get it out of the way.
Any East Coast fans listen to this? BYU TCU 11 p.m. Wednesday night. Brutal. I mean, you got to be kidding me. We're starting this thing at 1 a.m. Oh my gosh, 11 p.m. tip off. Don't worry, we're gonna be live. You know how I roll. You know I don't care. I'll stay up all night.
Oh, of course we will. But yeah, that's
brutal.
that's
brutal. But so we'll have the TCU preview out on Monday afternoon. You guys know the drill. Then we'll be live after TCU BYU. Texas Tech BYU, huge game in Lubbock. That preview will be out Thursday, and then we'll be live after that one. That is an 8 p.m. Eastern time, live right after the game. Do we want to talk about anything else, or do you want to wrap it up?
No, I've said a lot of words.
I was gonna say, I still have 3 hours on the Panthers if anybody's interested, but we're gonna just start seeing the numbers and just dip down.
Look,
Chase,
it's why you root. What you don't want to
I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna faint like 10 times tonight. Like I thought it was so intense. I think I almost fell off the seat and fell into another row like 4 times. It was just a mosh pit at times. That I just, man, it could have been the best night of my life. Sports wise.
Oh, clip that. This is why sports are so amazing. I was watching just some, like, as we all do, we hop on the YouTube, we check out some sports highlights and some moments, and just like the chills you get. And I was just like, man, sports are so incredible. And I really wish everyone had the experience that we all have. Everyone watching this obviously cares about sports. I don't know why you would if you wouldn't, right? Because it's just, it has the lowest of lows, right? Karter got smacked tonight emotionally, but I bet you wouldn't trade it for the world. And I bet you would. Oh. You're gonna remember this forever. You're gonna remember sitting up in the stands. You remember the Bryce touchdown run and the Coker,
the Coker
catch.
I mean, the amount of times I mean, this was just going on all night long, man.
I'm begging people though, like, invest your heart in sports. I know you're gonna get hurt sometimes. I know BYU will eventually lose a conference game. I know the Patriots are not winning the Super Bowl this year, but I don't care.
That's a reverse jinx. Don't buy that, people.
The hurt is worth every moment, and then when you finally get the euphoria of the winning, like, it's life-changing. I'm begging all of you listening, if you can hear my voice, invest in sports emotionally. It's special stuff.
Yeah, it's special stuff when you're a Pats fan, but when you're a Charlotte sports fan, it's not special.
Karter, you got to back me up here. Come on.
No, I'm kidding.
He's a Charlotte fan, and he agrees. He knows what this is like. He knows the ugly side of it.
I'm just giving you crap. No,
I mean, it was the last 20 years was pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. Come on.
It was truly unbelievable. And Jalen Coker, your whole lifetime, just Jalen Coker, Bryce. I love Bryce Young so much. So Can't say enough. Alex said he was looking for me in the stadium. I was deep. I was with the people. I was keep pounding with the people, way up there. I was closer to Jesus than I was.
He wanted the all 22 angle. He was calling out blitzes.
I think I got the all 88 angle. I mean, I was, and it doesn't matter. That's where I wanted to be, and strategically too. But yeah, man. Let's go Cougars, chance in the concourse. That's another great thing. When you win a big game like that, being in the concourse with all the other fans and everything, unbelievable. And especially on the road when there's enough of the other fans too, and you take over a place or a neutral site. Oh my gosh. Like imagine being, I'm sure people in the chat imagine being at BYU, Wisconsin last year after that. Just crazy game, and talk about the emotional ups and downs and everything. I mean, that one, but being in the concourse after a game and clinching your spot, because one of the best feelings in sports is not just winning a playoff game, but especially in the NCAA tournament, winning that round of 32 game, knowing I have 4 or 5 more days just to think about this team, and I get to watch this team one more time.
110%. I will never forget the BYU Sweet 16 trip. And I was sitting in your brother's basement with you, Karter. Like that, It didn't matter where I was. That was special. And sharing it with people who are invested as you makes it 10 times better as well. So I'm glad, Colson, I'm glad you got to go, man. And those chants in the hill, up the hill, pretty sweet.
Shout out the love in the chat, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Morgan Scally was giving a speech at halftime, and they started a BYU chant that seemed to drown him out completely. It was hilarious. I saw that.
It was a clip on Twitter, Karter. It's pretty good. The chants are pretty loud.
I'll go find it. When Utah visits Provo, that a quad 4 or quad 5 game? Let's rock with a quad 5 game. I'm stealing that line. Why is Gamora? That is a great line. We're calling it a quad 5 game. He said, I am unchurched but love BYU athletics. That's fine, brother. That's fine.
It's a BYU athletics pod, brother.
Unschooled, unchurched, unsports, but still love BYU athletics. I love it. Utah's biggest loss was the Utah students with the, I don't know.
Another quick Twitter thing, Karter. They just they did like their banner, and it was just backwards. It was inside out or whatever. So
so it was like very Shannon.
Yeah.
This is a good question. How happy is Chris Burgess right now? I think he's feeling pretty good.
He's pretty happy. Yeah, I think he's loving life.
Will Kentucky decline the NIT invite? Yes, yes, they will. Speaking of Chris Burgess, are we expecting Chamberlain to be at BYU next year? No update on that. I don't know. We will get that info to you as soon as we find out. How about that?
So we don't make promises, but
I'll make promise if we have the info and we're allowed.
If we get the info, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But as soon as we know, but maybe we'll all find out together. Who knows? Anyhow, you got anything else before we go?
Let's let the people get to bed. I got a 9 a.m. church. I'm teaching elders quorum, so
I'm teaching nursery.
You want to switch? You're teaching nursery?
I don't. Teaching's a very, very loose term. Let's get out of here. All right, that does it. Make sure to follow. You guys know the drill. We'll be back with all the pods next week. Follow on socials at Karter BA, at Chase_Rogers0. Those are our personals. Field 68 Podcast Network on the YouTube channel. If you're listening on audio or on audio, Apple, Spotify, 5-star review, follow, subscribe, and at Church Ball Pod on everything. Go follow, especially Twitter. We put out so much good stuff. Instagram, TikTok, you name it. And we'll be back Monday, TCU preview. That'll be out Monday afternoon. We'll see y'all then. Adios.